My name is Olivia Bennett, and I live in Portland, Oregon. For most of my life, I believed that kindness, patience, and hard work could fix anything. But what I didn't realize was that sometimes, people don't want to be fixed, they just want to make you feel small. I've been a graphic designer for over 20 years. I started in the late 90s, when we still used floppy disks and dial-up internet. Back then, people admired experience. Today, in a world filled with 22-year-old, creative directors, experience feels like a burden. Last year, my company hired a new manager, Ethan Price, 29 years old, confident, ambitious, and endlessly impressed with himself. He was the kind of person who believed youth equaled brilliance. From the first week, I could sense it, the subtle eye rolls, the dismissive, "Thanks, Olivia, but let's try something fresh." Fresh. That word became his weapon. One morning, I arrived at the office early. I always did. Ethan walked in late, holding his coffee like a trophy. He came to my desk with a smirk. "Olivia, that new campaign for the Eco Bottle Company," he said. "It's solid, but we want something more modern. You know, Gen Z vibes." I smiled politely. "Sure. What exactly do you have in mind?" He laughed, almost kindly. "I don't know, something less. I don't want to say old school, but yeah. Less 2000s PowerPoint." That stung, but I didn't respond. I went home that night, made myself tea, and stared at my computer. I wasn't angry. I was disappointed, in him, in the world, maybe even in myself for letting that comment affect me. Then I remembered what my father used to say. Greater than, when people underestimate you, don't argue. Just prove them wrong. So I decided to do exactly that. For the next few nights, I worked late, not for him, not even for the company, but for myself. I studied the latest design trends, watched tutorials, and even joined online workshops. I learned about 3D typography, gradient layering, minimalist contrast design, things the fresh designers claimed were new. And I applied everything to my project. The next week, when the team gathered for the campaign presentation, Ethan looked tired, probably from another networking dinner. I opened my file and played the video mock-up I'd made. The room went silent. Soft instrumental music filled the conference room, and the eco bottle appeared on screen, transforming into shapes and colors that represented sustainability and modern living. The visuals were crisp, smooth, and effortlessly elegant. When the video ended, the team applauded. Ethan didn't. He looked stunned. "This is, wow," said Mia, our social media manager. "Olivia, this looks like something from Apple's creative team." I smiled modestly. "Thank you." Ethan cleared his throat. "Yeah, that's really good. Let's move forward with this." He didn't make eye contact. Over the next few weeks, my project became the company's biggest success. The Eco Bottle brand doubled its online reach, and the client personally called to thank me. But success has a funny way of revealing people's true nature. A month later, during a meeting, Ethan tried to take partial credit for the concept. "Yeah, Olivia did the visuals," he said, "but I guided the overall tone and message." Mia raised her eyebrows. "Really? Because I remember you saying it was too old school." The room went quiet. Ethan shifted uncomfortably. I didn't say anything. I just smiled and opened my laptop. "Actually," I said, "here's the first draft, the one you called 2000s PowerPoint." Everyone laughed softly. Ethan forced a smile, but his ears turned red. A few days later, HR called me in. My heart raced. Had Ethan complained? But instead, the HR manager, a woman named Sandra, smiled warmly. "Olivia, I wanted to tell you personally, the board was impressed with your work. They want you to lead the next big campaign." I blinked. "Me? Yes. Officially. And you'll have a small team reporting to you. Congratulations, Senior Creative Lead." For a moment, I couldn't speak. After 20 years of being just a designer, I was finally being recognized. The next morning, I walked into the office with quiet confidence. Ethan was already there, sitting by the glass window, scrolling through his phone. "Morning," I said. He looked up. Morning. His tone was neutral, respectful, even. When the meeting began, Sandra made the announcement. As of today, Olivia Bennett will serve as senior creative lead for all brand campaigns. The team clapped. Ethan clapped too, slowly. I smiled at him and said gently, "Don't worry, Ethan. You'll catch up. Age doesn't define skill, effort does." He gave a stiff nod. "Right. Congrats. That evening, when I left the office, the city lights shimmered across the Willamette River. I stopped by my favorite coffee shop, ordered my usual caramel latte, and sat by the window. I thought about all the times I'd doubted myself, all the nights I believed I was too old to keep up. But maybe age isn't about years. Maybe it's about perspective. I realized that wisdom, patience, and experience aren't outdated, they're rare. And that's when I decided something simple but powerful. Greater than never let anyone make you feel like your time has passed, because the truth is, your best days might just be beginning. A few weeks later, Ethan resigned. He said he wanted to start his own design agency. I wished him well, sincerely. Because I wasn't angry anymore. I had learned that revenge doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes, the quiet act of proving someone wrong is enough. And when people say, "You're too old," you smile and say, "Greater than, maybe." But I'm also too good to ignore.